What's up, guys? It's John, new National Sports Entertainment, where we clobber Vegas, literally picking the opposite of who should win. And as usual, I wanted to go into tonight's, just a recap of tonight's games, and just specifically who I like. It's nothing crazy, just lines I found that were odd. This is what I've been using for hockey. So I've been taking teams that are terrible against the spread and fading ones that are good. With hockey, it's a little different because of the way the money lines are set up, of course. But let me do a recap of tonight. Tonight was about as a break-even night as we're going to get. We lost our leg 3. I had the Cavs covering the Celtics. They did win the game. Hilariously scripted game. Celtics dude missed to brick 2 free throws at the end. And just the way you could tell they were letting each other score was humorous. Very similar to the Hawks-Heat game. That one, I pushed. Most people pushed. Some people might have got 2.5. It depends on their book because I know ESPN closed very late on this one. But it really depends. So we could plug in a leg 3 for the Heat one here. But this is another interesting one. I have a feeling the Cavs, Celtics, and the Heat Hawks are both going to be playing each other in the playoffs. They even were teasing how the Cavs, Celtics, this is 3 games out of 4 they've gone to overtime. Heat Hawks, you kind of get these. It's a game of runs. But so we missed that. Pels, I was way off on. Kings still looking really good. And Nuggets didn't get. But we did get the others. We split our leg 2s because we did get our college. We got UNC Wellington to cover. We had Oilers covering in hockey. Flames covering for a little bit of plus odds. So like I said, almost like a complete split day. And then we had our best play was just the Senators win was really big because we got plus 225 on that. Like I said, hockey's been treating us great. Leg 1, all of our big plus wins in hockey have been leg 1s, unfortunately. I have played them as leg 2s. It's just we haven't hit the leg 2s I've played. So like Hurricanes here, we hit leg 1. But then you'll see when I played a leg 2 for hockey, and I did. Blue Jackets lost. And I've played a few. It wasn't like I only played 1 or 2. Stars, Coyote, we got that one. That was an over-under, so that's different. But all of the covers for hockey to get plus odds, because I was explaining how with hockey, it's beneficial the higher. So here we had Flames cover Flyers lost. We got that one on leg 3. But my point is, it's nice to get hockey on leg 2, leg 3, because we're getting plus odds. So if we miss it on leg 1 and we're getting plus 250, see here, these were overs, but as you can see, I've played hockey a lot on leg 2s. We just haven't hit them for some reason like we have on leg 1s. My point is, hitting a leg 2 in hockey is actually going to pay better than a leg 1, whereas with this system, typically a leg 2 pays the same as a leg 1. We're just profiting 1 unit. But now what's happening is plus 225, had we played that as a leg 2, it's about a 4-unit profit. So it's the same increment, but it's more units being gained. So that's going to pay us tremendously. Just some perspective on that. This is what we've hit so far. I might have to update our record. We're right around 24 and 20. This is just picking 50-50s, which is over-unders, and picking the plus odds. And as you can see, on half the occasions, on 12 occasions, we got plus odds. We got plus 225, which ties our best. We got that today. So it's nice. All of these were leg 1s outside of the Flames plus 115, which is basically an even odds game. But it'd be nice to get it on a leg 2, but it's still great value because it adds up to way more than a unit. So now we're not just hitting, one sequence isn't just 1 unit. This makes it where a sequence is a unit and a half. So very good. Now I'm going to go into our plays and why I like them. I like Loyola to win. It's basically they're getting like a 1.5. And I think I went over last game. They're like 5 games worse than their opponent. They have a bad record against the spread. I don't see people taking them. So I definitely like Loyola here as a leg 1. Louisville I like as a leg 2. Funny story about Louisville. Beginning of the season, if you go back to like the very beginning videos, we were taking Louisville a lot for the reason being they were the worst team bar none against the spread. You think Tulsa's bad? they weren't even on the radar. Louisville was way worse, and they didn't cover a spread until like their 8th or ninth. We made a lot of money with Louisville because once Louisville started, like they hit their first game against the spread, they just kept covering, and we kept benefiting. So I stopped playing them because they weren't, they're at like 40-something% against the spread. But I will say, the line doesn't make a lot of sense. That's why I have them winning this game. Okay, and it was 250 last I checked, so it might change a little bit, but last I checked it was 250. So it was a 7-point spread at 250. So I like the money line. It's going to be between 2 and 250. I can't imagine it'll move that much. But this one I do like as just a straight upset because I think, like I said, a 7-point spread. Boston College looks way better, so I don't understand the spread. Louisville has 4 wins this year. None of it makes sense. So I do like Louisville here for the cover, and maybe if we get them on a leg too, that'll be a nice payout. So I think that one is worth the try. Now that's all I really have. As far as I don't have a ton of college basketball. So that one, like I said, we have a few more, but not a ton. So Notre Dame here is the last one. I like them to cover Virginia Tech. So that's also going to be a leg one. So just Loyola covering or winning, essentially. It's a 1-point game, like I said. Notre Dame, I'm picking the cover on that one. I don't want to get greedy and play the money line on both. They're getting 7 as well, so I'll take the cover there. And I think Louisville makes more sense as an upset. I think less people are going to be on them, and it's more of a Cinderella story, a 4-win team winning. So I like Louisville for the win on that one. And then we're in the hockey. I'm going to go into the NBA. I just want to make sure I'm looking at all the games. I want to make sure just our hit rate is as high as possible. And for example, some lines move 3-4 points in between night and morning or between night and the next night, and it makes a big difference. That's why I like covering them as close as I can to the game, but where people can still make their plays. So Panthers cover night 2C I have as a leg 2 here because, again, I do want to hit a leg 2 on hockey. We've been doing good with it. We've been over 50%, and I like it because it's one where the Panthers have been bad on the spread this year. So it's not paying a ton, like I said. They're not going to pay out the plus 200 pluses on that many occasions. That's why, as you can see, I picked one yesterday technically, which was the Blackhawks. We got it. I'm not going to pick a bunch of them, so I try and pick my spots. They're going to maybe pay out a couple straight money lines like they did with the Senators and Flames, but they're not going to pay a bunch of straight underdog money lines out or a bunch of -1.5s where people are going to be all over it. So I try and pick my spots, but I do like the Panthers to cover. I think it's appealing enough, but not where the public's going to be slamming it. And their record against the spread is bad, as I said. And then I let the Flames and Wild to go over. Both not so great against the spread, so no point in picking the spread. But they are also not so great on the over. So I think people might slam the under, and I like the over. And you can see for Lightning cover Flyers, it's -120. So, of course, it's going to be a tiny bit more than a unit. It's to win a unit, of course, always. So, say your unit is 25, you might be going like 32 or something like that, 33, whatever the case may be. And it might move, like I said, back to 115, 110. But it's at 120 right now, so it's always to win a unit. But I do like them to cover. I usually wouldn't play it at -120, but Flyers are the best team in the league against the spread. Lightning, one of the worst. Not one of the worst, but they're in the bottom. So I think it's one where people are going to be on the Flyers. So that's why I'm playing that one, just as a leg 1. Because with the extra little juice there, no need to play it as a leg 2. And then the last one, I like the Ducks to beat the Kraken. Yeah, it says +20, 243. I like the cover, but I feel like if we're going to go for the cover, there's the value in going for the money line that could definitely hit as well. And I like it because Kraken good against the spread, Ducks not so good. And I looked at all the plays. There's a lot of teams getting better than +243. There was like 3 or 4 that were like +350, -350 is like as far as their odds. and on the other end it was like plus 260. So Ducks beating the Kraken, it's not like it's a top 3 even payout of the night. So that's why I chose it. So I try and, think how Vegas thinks too. I don't just, make plays that look too good to be true, because they usually are. But yeah, so the Ducks beating the Kraken, I'm going to play that as a leg 2 and the Panthers to cover the Knights and hope that we split them. And like I said, I'll go into NBA, but this is basically just all metrics. So I wanted to hit our hockey plays as well as our college basketball. And like I said, today was about as a break-even day as we're going to get. Tomorrow could be really good because, as you can see, 3 of our leg 2s are for about 2 units or more. So it's going to pay 2 to 1 or better if we hit these. So we'll see how that goes. And we're going to have a couple basketball games, of course, as well for the NBA. So take care and happy earnings.